Hey, I'm Abby. First of all, I'm a twin. We're the youngest of six. We grew up in the U.S. My parents migrated over here from Mexico. Me and my sister growing up, we wanted to be really close to our culture, so we did, ballet folclórico, which is, traditional Mexican dancing for 12 years. I get my humor from my dad. And then we grew up in church, so God's a really big part of my life. And I love learning new languages, which is what drew me into coding, since it was a new language for me. So my parents, when they had my older sister, when she was 2, they moved to the U.S., so I was born in the U.S. But they do tell me a lot of stories about growing up in Mexico and how my grandpa would train horses how to dance. And my dad was a part of the army, and he would always come and visit my mom, and my grandpa was like the scariest man in town. So guys wouldn't try to go after my mom or her aunts. But my dad did, surprisingly, and my grandpa actually really loved my dad, and so it was good stories. Yeah, so there's a story that he had his favorite horse, they call him borracho, which is drunk, and him and my grandpa would my grandpa would give him beer, and so the horse would always be drunk. So that was my grandpa's best friend, but he trained him how to dance and other horses how to dance. It's very common in Mexico, a lot of the young girls would learn how to ride the horses and dance while on the horse. Growing up with a twin sister is awesome. I love having her. She's always been the smarter sister. So we have a joke with the family. My mom didn't know what coding was when she first started, so she thought it was a person. So my mom would be like, "Who's Cody?" And so till this day, we still have that joke of she'd be like, "Oh, I'm Cody." And we're like, "Oh, who's Cody?" And so we're like, "Oh, we're gonna get married with Cody or what?" Because you're always doing it. So it's really funny. Yeah, me and my mom are really close. We usually stay up at nights talking a lot. She works really hard. She still works 2 jobs. And she just motivates me to try harder in life. And she's always telling me you can do better things. You can do better things than we have done. She wants us to go farther in life. And so she's always motivating us, pushing us forward.
I am Maria Valencia. I'm Abby's mom. I'm very proud. Es como toda persona normal, pero yo quería un futuro mejor, ya que no podía ir a la escuela, porque soy de un pequeño pueblo. Yo mi primer hija, al mirarla tan chiquita en mis brazos, yo tomé la decisión de viajar a este país para un futuro mejor para ella. A tener que trabajar, no saber el idioma, no tener un diploma que presentar pero soy una persona muy persistente. Entonces, el amor a mi familia me hizo trabajar duro y lograr lo que soy, una gran familia. Me siento orgullosa porque está logrando lo que yo deseé y por lo cual estoy en este país. Quiero un futuro mejor para ellos y para mis nietos o mis siguientes generaciones. Quiero que sean mejores que yo.
So one of the biggest challenges first was my parents were kind of a little bit against the program. They're like, why is there an American trying to get you to do coding? Why would he give you free education and pay you about the company? So for them, it was hard to wrap their minds around it. And then they were like, is coding even a job? Is it a career? Can you get good money? So for them, it was all brand new, and they had a lot of insecurities about it. So we did argue about it a bit in the beginning. And then eventually, when we were getting closer to the apprenticeship, that's when they kind of came around. But at the same time, one of the biggest struggles we went through was my sister's health. When I was a freshman in high school, they discovered she had an AVM in her brain, which is kind of a clot of veins, kind of a small tumor in her brain. But they didn't want to do surgery on her, so they did radiation. And then what followed after that was just seizures. So she would get the epileptic seizures and then the stress seizures. And her seizures started getting really bad. And then one summer she had a brain bleed And that was right around the time we were starting the program. And so that was like, she was just in the hospital constantly, like every other day she'd go.
Representan un sueño. Yo quería tener twins. Y representan una promesa de Dios para mí. Y soy muy feliz por sus logros, sus metas. Realmente soy feliz por la familia que tengo. Han sido muy alegres, han sido muy... que les gusta hacerlo todo muy... se puchan solas a ser mejores. Son muy persistentes. O sea, estamos siempre bien unidos y nos apoyamos en todo lo que hacemos. Nos demos un soporte sin condiciones. Y eso nos hace ser más fuertes y luchar más.
And so one of the biggest challenges when I started the program was, how am I going to make time to do the online courses, or how am I going to find time to learn coding? And so I kind of felt like I didn't sleep at all the whole 9 months. Like, I went to school, I was a nanny, I worked on the weekends, and then like I was a part of church, and then we would do coding like all-nighters. And then my sister's health, like when she would go to the hospital, I would have to take my laptop with me to code and to find time to do coding while supporting her. It was stressful, overwhelming, but just like we couldn't stop. Like, we had to keep pushing forward and keep fighting. You know, my parents came to the U.S. They fought to get to the U.S. And we weren't gonna let like some health issue get in the way of our success. Yeah, so now she's healed. She's better. You know, God did the miracle in her life that we needed. Her seizures have stopped. The doctors told her that the AVM doesn't look that big, or might not be there. She's getting tests done soon. But yeah, she's doing a lot better. Just, you know, mentally, health-wise. Yeah, Wakasa's great. Like, I love the building where it's at. It's in Portland, and I love driving to Portland. I like the vibe in Portland, the atmosphere, and then Wakasa's atmosphere is like completely its own world. Like, it's super chill, everyone gets along, everyone's nice. We're all like motivated and passionate about what we do. And then my favorite thing is downstairs, our secretary, she's a barista, and so we get like free coffee, free drinks downstairs. So like people are always like going downstairs to get their coffee. And then like each floor has a kitchen, and then upstairs on the top floor they have a kitchen with food for us, so we don't necessarily have to like be spending money on our own food. Hey guys, so this is the auditorium of my old high school. This is where I spent many years dancing and performing, where I grew and developed as a person, and I learned how to be fearless and how to take on challenges. So when I started the TalentPath program, because of all my experiences on stage, I felt like I was ready. If I could perform in front of dozens of people, then I can surely learn a new language in 9 months. And now I'm ready to take on the real world stage. So I'm really grateful for TalentPath and Boys and Girls for giving me the opportunity to explore a passion that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to explore without them. I would have probably still been studying my degree at a college instead of truly like going after what was my passion and what I wanted to do, and they opened those doors for me. So growing up, you always hear about people talking about the American dream, like this is what their hopes are to live in this country. And then for us growing up, we knew we had an American dream, but we just didn't know it was achievable, that we could actually like make that happen. And now I'm actually living it. I'm an apprentice at Casa, and that's helping me fulfill my American dream. TalentPath was free. There was no debt. They gave us all the resources we needed to be successful. All we had to do was put in our hard work to get to the end goal. Hey, my name is Abigail Celeste Barrera Valencia. I was a childcare worker, and now I'm a software engineer.